and welcome to the End in Mind podcast. I'm your host, Caitlin, the owner of Meraki Media Management. The End in Mind is a place where we come to share stories, tips, and strategies of many entrepreneurs, creatives, business owners, and just some people that aren't willing to live the traditional lifestyle. We talk about how to live outside of the box today and how to incorporate what really is important in your life to keep that end goal always in mind. Again, if you would like to reach out to me in any type of way, you can find me on Instagram at Meraki_media_management, and I hope to hear from you all soon. Thanks so much and enjoy our show. What is up, party people? Oh my God, I'm so excited to be here with you guys today. It feels like a hot minute. I don't know why, since I've recorded a podcast. And I'm sure, as you guys can tell in the inflection in my voice, I get so stoked to speak with you guys. Over these past few weeks, I have had some amazing feedback from this show, and I cannot tell you, it literally makes me emotional. When I launched this podcast, people, you guys, I had no idea that anyone would even listen. I'm being so honest. I just knew that intuitively it was time for me to launch one, and it just ended up happening that way. And I am just so grateful for every single one of you that hops on here, listens to these stories, loves the interviews and takes everything that I say with, a grain of salt at times. But I really just wanted to have these conversations. These are things that I've thought about since I was really young. And if you've been, a long time listener, you probably have heard me say that before. A lot of us have thoughts about life, and for me, I just wanted to put it out there to the world and share my stories and share my experience as a small business owner and what this crazy world is like. So I am just so grateful that you guys are here, and I'm feeling super called to have this conversation with you all. We have had this conversation before, which was about social media and expression, but this time I really want to talk about how self-expression is actually self-care, especially because this new course that I am launching this month, actually in June, is called Intuitive Instagram, and we are going to be enrolling over the next 2 weeks. Through my experience with working with small business owners, it's so challenging to show up on a platform, on social media, put yourself out there on a daily basis, not get engagement, and then have to get up and do the same thing over and over and over again when you're not feeling aligned to do so. And I want to talk about, within this program and within our podcast today, how you can actually use this platform as a form of self-expression to release some of those pressures that you have had on you for so long. This podcast has actually become, like I said earlier, one of my favorite parts of what I do as a business owner. And I think it really just comes down to me feeling safe speaking to you all and me being able to just share my life stories. And it feels like there's no judgment, because I'm showing up with that non-judgmental energy. Those are the people that, tend to be my listeners, as you all know, because you are probably, very non-judgmental if you're listening to this show, right? So that is what's so exciting about self-expression. And the more that we can build this muscle over time, the more we can continue to build these communities. And this is online and offline. So today I want to share some of the experiences that I have navigated as a 26-year-old. I went through some really intense therapy over the past year and a half. I still work with coaches. I actually have 3 coaches right now, which is a little bit chaotic, so don't recommend that. But, we all make mistakes and we learn from them, right? So these coaches have helped me reposition my mindset around who I am, what I want to do with my life, what's actually important to me. And then they've also helped me put that into words, right? And actually like connect with my throat chakra and use my voice to share these experiences, because I know how much they will help my listeners and my community, navigate these situations as they maybe come across them, or their own situations that they're currently going through, right? It's all relative and it's all perspective. So really what I believe self-care and self-expression really, when I say self-care and self-expression comes together and how they can feed off of one another, is the fact that you're feeling heard, right? And when you are developing an online community, that's why it's so important to connect with the right types of people, right? So that when you are getting online, maybe you're getting some hatred, right? Because we all have haters at times, but that hatred is so much further outweighed by the love that you experience on the platform. That's what I focus on with my clients. And, a lot of them will come to me when we first start working together. Like I said, this is business owners and might also be non-business owners. They feel bogged down by the platform. Like, honestly, at times they fucking hate Instagram. Like, let's just be honest, because that is how passionate they feel about this platform 99% of the time when they are coming to me, whether they had a bad experience, right, with a past social media manager, or if they're just really feeling like comparisonitis has taken over their life and constantly they're getting on social media and they're only seeing these beautiful stories, right? And as you guys know, especially if you follow me on Instagram, I share the good, bad, and the ugly with everything that I do. It's very rare that I'm holding anything back. And if I am, I'm just letting it digest for a few weeks before I share it with you guys. So everything is honest and open with what I'm experiencing. And like I said, sometimes you have to digest it in order to curate content around it that's going to feel aligned for you in a self-expression type of manner, right? Because when we're reactive and we're just sharing things super quickly, then this can have an inverse reaction on our self-care, right? It can be that oversharing, which we do have past podcast episodes about as well. If you are not, an avid listener and maybe missed that episode, you want to go back and have a listen to that. We do talk about oversharing, but when you can show up and you can actually tell your story in a way that feels powerful and has somewhat of a positive spin on it at times, and maybe even has a negative spin on it at times, but you're just being honest about who you are and your community welcomes that, that is the biggest form of self-care that you can do for yourself. I was actually just having this conversation with my boyfriend Sean last week, and as relationships take their twists and turns, sometimes we can say things that offend each other, right? Or upset each other. And I had said to him, thank you so much for telling me this. But he had waited like 4 or 5 days to tell me that something that I said over the weekend upset him. And I had even shared with him, like the sooner that you can tell me what I said upset you, the faster I can then apologize and also build more self-awareness around how my words are impacting you. And that I'm able to take into the future, right? And then he'll feel better because I'm apologizing. I'm acknowledging that I made a mistake. And then that's the self-care that he's giving himself, right? He's not silencing himself. He's not putting himself in a corner and telling himself to shut up, right? So that is the type of relationship that I've always wanted to have. Rarely ever had, that type of relationship in my life. So it's been such an amazing experience. And now that is the relationship that I have with almost every single person that is in my close inner circle. So if something comes up that upsets either one of us, I like to talk about it right away, right? And I encourage all of the people in my community to do the same thing. I am not someone to brush things under the rug. I do think, again, there is a way to express yourself, which granted, I have not always been the greatest at and am still navigating at times. of expressing yourself in a manner that is productive, right? Rather than being, again, reactive or negative towards that conversation. So there is a way that you can position your wording, right? That can be a little bit more well received. And that at times is hard, right? When we have these past beliefs, past situations that have reiterated to us over and over and over again that our point of view or our emotions do not matter, right? And that's a common stream in society, right? People are constantly posting on social media about problematic situations that impact their lives, right? Whether it be politics, whether it be loss, right? Whether it be as a business owner, whether it be feeling ignored, right? This is them feeling ignored, especially when people are posting about it, right? They're giving themselves a platform and no one's reacting back and or changing how they're approaching things. That can feel like crap, right? It's the same thing online as what happens offline. So when you can build this type of relationship with people that allows them to let their guard down and be honest with you, that is when you can continue to grow as a human being, right? And that's also when you can work on this form of self-expression. And like I said, I am not a master at this at all, right? Like I am not claiming to know all of this type of situations. However, I do know how to show up online and share my stories with you guys that has impacted me positively, right? Like I truthfully wouldn't share anything if I still felt that it was impacting me negatively, because I'm clearly still processing that, right? Like we're all on this journey, we're all on this roller coaster, and we're all navigating these situations together. So when we sometimes are feeling that reactive moment, it's not going to be productive, right? It's better for us to process and then be able to put it together in words that's going to be, productive conversation and actually change possibly, the situation at hand, right? Or how we interact with people in the future. So again, that's really what I see with my clients, is that they don't have that community to lean on when they come on social media. So they don't feel safe, or they just don't feel heard, right? Which can sometimes be even worse. Like sometimes if you're getting a negative reaction, at least somebody's listening, right? So with this intuitive Instagram program, as I mentioned, we will be walking you through how to build that type of community and how to find these people online, because that's the most difficult part, right? Is finding the people to engage with or to interact with. And we teach you how to do exactly that for your specific business. Actually, within this program, you do get 2 one-on-one calls with me as well. So it can be very much so customizable, and that is how I wanted this course to go. I am not a one-size-fits-all kind of girl, as you guys know. Like, gray area is my life. I actually was talking to a client of mine. She owns a skincare company, and she said the same thing recently. I was like, that's why we're soul clients for one another. Like, she's one of my soul clients, right? Because we see things similarly. That gray area and being able to customize this program for you is going to help you position your content in front of those ideal clients on a daily basis, so that you are actually engaging with those correct types of people. And some of these people that I have met online, you guys, like, if we lived close, I would love to grab drinks with them or go out to dinner, grab coffee. Like, these people in my community, especially some of the guests that we've had on the podcast, like my clients and all of that, they have become some of my best friends, right? They're some of the most important people to me because we share similar outlooks on life. And that's, again, what makes you feel safe in your community when you're showing up online, right? So when we think about offline, right, maybe you're not a business owner. Maybe you're not really trying to be a business owner, and that's totally fine, right? Like, we know on this podcast, we get people from all walks of life, and I love that, right? Like, this is so important to me, and living the untraditional lifestyle doesn't have to be you being a business owner, right? Sometimes that's completely different for somebody else. So again, it's all perspective. But when you have this community offline, And when you start to heal your beliefs, right? And this would like be more of our mentoring type of conversation. These beliefs have held you back, but have also held all of the people in your community back that are reiterating those beliefs to you over and over and over again. So for example, I had a friend of mine, I was just telling her actually this weekend about how I was opening up my mentorship program. And she's in corporate America, no harm, no foul, we live different, very like lives when it comes to business. And she said, I feel like you could be an amazing life coach. And she's like, you would be amazing at that, but like, how do you get clients for that? And for me, it's so funny. Like immediately I'm like, oh, well, the clients like just come, like when you make that decision and you want to go all in on business, and I'm an all in type of gal, I'm sure you guys can tell, you attract those clients, right? You build that community. But because she's never experienced building a business, of course, that's her own belief around it, right? And as we're having this conversation, I could feel myself, right? Like thinking like, oh my God, how am I going to get clients for this? Who do I think I am? Like trying to mentor people on lifestyle, right? Like what the hell? And it did give me a minute of imposter syndrome, but then I got in the car, did some breath work, and I realized like, it's just because she doesn't live in this world, right? Of building a business. She doesn't understand that once we put the energy out there, the universe works in our favor, right? It's constantly showing me different beliefs that I need to overcome, right? Even this conversation with her was mirroring a belief that I had deep down inside of myself, right? Why haven't I launched this mentorship program 2 years ago when I knew I wanted to, right? I waited because social media was booming, right? And social media was easy. But now I'm done with easy. I want to work with people on these really intense life challenges that we're faced with, because I have lived through so much at a young age. I know how to get back to being grounded, especially now through all of this work that I've done. Like, you guys, this mentorship program is amazing. I will leave some testimonials, and they'll also be on my Instagram account, as well as the mentorship page for you guys to check out. Like, my clients are experiencing huge life shifts. I mean, getting new relationships, right? And calling in these people that they actually want to live a life with. Some of this work is even spilling over right into their family and into their communities. And the reason why I'm sharing this part of their testimonial is because this is what happens when you start to heal yourself, right? You start to attract the right type of people in your life, and you start to repel those beliefs that have held you back, right? Like that situation with my friend, it was a mirroring a belief that I had. And I had to really go within myself, be honest, right? And the next day I got up, I wrote the sales page, right? I sent it to my team member. It's going to be posted by the end of the weekend, right? Like, it's just about moving forward and not letting that belief keep you stuck, not feeding into that thought. And this is what happens when we call people into our lives that aren't on our same wavelength, right? Like, what happens is they come in, you're having a conversation with them. Maybe it's drama filled, right? And then you're down this drama filled spiral, and then it's sucking all of your energy. So when you actually need to show up for something that's important for you, you feel so drained, you feel so exhausted, you're not able to move throughout the day. And that's what a lot of my clients were experiencing. Some of them actually got a whole new job throughout our coaching process. And that's only some of my 3-month program clients. So in such a short amount of time, we have shifted everything in their lives. So now they're much more in alignment, and they're so much happier, you guys. Like, this work, yeah, it's hard, right? Because you have to look at yourself and you have to be honest. Like, when I'm being mirrored this situation with one of my best, dearest friends, it's like, damn, like there's that lesson again. I think I shared this on a podcast episode with an interview I was doing last week. Like, there's that stupid lesson again, right? Like, when am I going to get it? And now I'm taking the lesson. Like when I hear something and it feels like, ooh, like that's bringing up a negative thing for me, why? Why am I letting those opinions affect me, right? These people aren't starting businesses. These people don't know what it's like to be an entrepreneur in today's day and age, right? It doesn't affect them at all. And I do, right? I've grown a prosperous business. I multiplied my income by 10 last year, right? Like this is something that I'm really good at, and I should have a shit ton of confidence around it at all times. But we're all human, and we all have these beliefs deep within us that we can't do things. And again, it's not a negative thing, right? Like even with my best serious friend, she has no clue how this impacted me, right? And that was not her intention when she said those words. But as a highly sensitive person, was I affected? Absolutely. And I had to go back and look at that belief. So I'm actually so thankful that we had this conversation, right? Because it's helping me move through those beliefs faster. Like I said on Tuesday, I'm like, yep, I'm writing the entire sales page and I'm getting this out there. I'm putting it out there to the public. I'm sharing it with my podcast community, like with intention, right? This time, like I'm actually sharing it with intention. So I'm not letting those beliefs hold me back, and that's the most important part. So when you start to do this work, again, you start to call in those people, you start to change your relationships, right? My relationship with Chan has changed so much, you guys. Like we are completely different people in our relationship now than we were 5 years ago when we met each other. We met each other when I think I was 20 and I think he was like 23. So we were so young, right? I didn't even know who I was at that point. And it's okay for me to look back on portions of our lives and say like, oh, that wasn't my best moment, right? But every single day, I'm getting better. Every single day, I am changing who I am. I'm growing, I'm evolving, right? And that's the most important part, because then again, you start to call in those right types of clients. You start to call in that relationship that you've longed for so long. And you start to open your eyes, like through this mentorship program. I'm not even kidding you guys. And this will also be with the intuitive Instagram. That's why we have the one-on-one calls, so that those beliefs that are coming up, like we can talk through them together. Where are they coming from, and how can we shift our mindset around it? This thought process, it has allowed my clients and myself to literally say like, I'm getting in my own way, right? Like if I wasn't showing up with intention today and sharing my new offers with you guys, I would be getting in my own way, and I would be letting those beliefs get the best of me. It's time to let go of those beliefs. It's time to drop the damn story and actually go after the life that you want. You deserve it. You've always deserved it, right? No matter what you've been through in your life. You could come from the most abundant family, right? And maybe you still lived through a lot of crap, right? Like we don't know people's lives. Things happen to every single one of us, and we deserve to be happy. You deserve everything you want, everything you've ever dreamed of. You can have that. And through this coaching that I've done like over these past few months, I truthfully believe that. Like even now when I get up and I'm scared, right? Maybe something changed in my business. Maybe a client dropped off. I'm scared, right? And I notice now, okay, I'm just scared. It doesn't mean that I'm not growing. It doesn't actually, scarcity is making me grow, right? And it doesn't mean that I have to crawl into a hole and bury my head in the sand. Instead, I'm going to show up even more, right? I'm going to keep driving what actually lights me up. And let me tell you guys, this mentoring and this intuitive Instagram program is what lights me up. You guys probably don't even know this, but when I first launched Meraki, I only sold courses because I just love coaching people. And I'm getting back to that now, right? I'm getting back to what actually makes me happy. And I love helping people. I've helped people since I was very young. Like a lot of my family members have gone through some serious mental health challenges, and when I was really young, I would just sit with them and talk with them and offer advice. I mean, we're talking like I'm 6 years old, like, and I'm giving advice to my family members, and they will vouch for this. It's like some of the stories that they tell around like the dinner table or whatever. And some of those things that I shared with them, they will even probably say like it changed the way they thought about it, right? And it changed the way they approached their life. So this is a gift that I know I've had for a really long time. And I'm ready to share it with you guys. I'm ready to share it with the world. I want you to feel empowered. I want you to have everything that you've ever wanted because you deserve it. And it is possible. Even though you've been told your whole damn life that it isn't. And I was told the same thing. Oh my God, when I was launching this business, people thought I was crazy. You'll never make it, they would say. You know how much work that takes? You'll never make it. Over and over and over again, every damn day. I was 23. Like I had no clue, honestly, what I was doing. And portions of what they were saying could have been right. And I could have let myself sit in that belief and I wouldn't be sitting here speaking with you guys today. I wouldn't be here. And that's insane to think. I would be doing something else entirely that I probably hated, right? And this is what makes me happy. Like, I want to help you guys. I want to help you change your mindset. I want to help you change your life. I want to help you show up online. I want to help you show up in your relationships how you actually want to show up, who you actually want to be. I used to be one of the most angry, irritated, agitated people I've ever met, truthfully. And any little thing would piss me off. Now I'm thrown, all of these different challenges on a daily basis. And I just think to myself, if we handled it yesterday, we can handle it today. And you guys can too. We can change your mindset. We can do this. We can get you on a path that will change your life where you will finally be happy again and fulfilled. It is possible. So I love you guys so much. I hope this podcast episode resonated with you. If it did, take a screenshot, tag me on social. You don't even have to feel like you need to buy the programs or anything. Of course, if you're feeling called to, please reach out to me. But I just want you guys to know, like, I am not a salesy type of person. Like, if we're DMing about the program and it doesn't feel aligned, I will not harass you whatsoever. I am not that type of lady. So I just like to check in and connect with people. That's just my mantra. That's who I am in my personality. Like I said in the past few minutes, that's just honestly who I am as a person. So don't feel like, if you guys are reaching out about the programs or asking questions, that actually makes me feel so much better because it shows me that the program is intriguing, right? So it doesn't even have to be like you're buying the course if we're chit-chatting, but please tell me, did this resonate with you guys? Tag me on your stories, send me a DM, leave a review. I just want to know if you guys are resonating with this and, if you're feeling kind of the same way. I think we've all been through so much shit. We deserve to be happy now. And we've always deserved it, right? But now we see how much we deserve it. We can feel it. So I love you guys so much, and I will see you next week. Thank you so much for listening to The End in Mind. I would like to remind you all, if you haven't yet reached out to me on Instagram, we are at Meraki_media_management. It will be in our show notes as well. If you would like to reach out to me, we always offer free coaching through Instagram based around our Instagram training and our business Instagram practices. If you need any type of support, please do not hesitate to reach out to me there. And we also offer several different types of consulting and training packages if you're looking for a little bit more in-depth tips. So thank you all for listening in, and of course, I want you all to keep the end in mind as you continue with your day and or work week. Have a great week, and I will see you all next time. Hey everyone. everybody, I am your host, Caitlin. I wanted to let you guys know that we have opened up another extension of the Meraki Media Management family. We are now opening up spots for our Meraki Mentorship Program. So if you have been loving this show and you feel that you need some extra support, whether that be in business, in your life, in finding alignment for you, while also managing some of the stress and environmental factors that can impact us all just as humans, this coaching program is for you. I have been working with so many amazing women in these past few months. I have learned so much about women empowerment, how to navigate our emotions, how to stay grounded during really uncomfortable times in our lives, and also how to feel aligned with who we actually are rather than being pulled into these beliefs that so many others have thrown upon us without being aware of it for years and years and years, right? So all of those beliefs add up for us over time, and it can really impact how we are talking to ourselves in our head, how we're approaching our everyday life, and it could even be hindering you reaching the untraditional lifestyle that you are trying to create for yourself. So I am so passionate about this. Like I said, have been working with so many wonderful people on this coaching program, and it is a one-on-one opportunity for you. So if you are feeling called to work with me, please use the link below to apply, and I will be in touch with you all soon. We do offer free consultation calls, so if you are even just wanting to connect with me one-on-one, here is how to do that. So please apply below and I will reach out to you guys with a Zoom link ASAP. Love you all so much and I cannot wait to hear from you.